Hi, good afternoon, dear friends and colleagues out there. We all are in between uh, home lockdown, working from home. It's been a week now in India, we are having a lockdown. And then I thought, why not make a small video for all of your benefit on how to productively work from home in times of COVID 19. So, again, hi, bonjour, privet, marhaban, namaste, sat sri akal, and kem chu to all of my dear friends and colleagues out there from across the globe. I myself, Saurabh Roy, am a professional with about 19 years of global work experience and have been equally affected like all of you with the ongoings of COVID-19 that is happening. So what has actually happened? What has happened is that there is no more morning commute. There is no more morning pressure to rush to work. There is no stopping by at your colleague's desk to say hello. There is no going out to lunch in your favorite restaurant with your colleagues and friends on lunch hours as part of your routine. And this has impacted all of us in a big way. Our routines have changed. We all have been some or the other way forced to work from home in this challenging time, and it is also creating a lot of challenge for us. Now out there, many of you might be from the ITES industries and would already have some prior exposure experience of working from home. But then, yes, there are loads of guys like me who never had such exposure, and then again having exposure for such a long period of time. Right now 21 days, we don't know how the scenario may be in future to work from home. So I thought, let me put my thoughts together and have a short teat with all of you on how we could structure our work so that we can be more productive and we can deliver still to our employers on our deliverables by working from home in a proper way. So the thoughts that I have put together are in a way designed to assist you to create a productive work environment while working from home and learn to work remotely at the same time, and at the same time remain connected with your organization, with your colleagues, with your teammates. My thoughts revolve around dedicating a space to work and avoiding distractions at the same time, establishing a remote workplace, structuring your day correctly, and lastly, staying in touch with your other colleagues from work while working from home. I also tried to address few common issues that most of us are currently facing, which are challenging to us, are related to giving and getting feedback, feeling isolated, and how to overcome these times of stress and anxiety while at the same time being productive. So let's start by trying to cover my first thought process that says, how we can set up a dedicated workplace. So while working remotely, especially when we are at home, what happens is we keep on getting a lot of things and we get engrossed doing a lot of activities at the same time. So we get distracted a lot. We got kids, we got our spouse, and a lot of time it happens that kids come rushing to us, papa, mama, help me out, or play with me. Or it might so happen at times that there is some news going on, the TV is on, and we get distracted and we start watching the news, and our productivity gets impacted because of that. So what I would say is, while working remotely, first and foremost is that it would be very appropriate if we could properly dedicate some specific corner of our house, maybe in our room, maybe in our dining area, somewhere we feel most comfortable to be in, to work from. There is no perfect answer to that. It could be any corner, it could be anywhere. Once you've done it, once you're able to put and plan a specific dedicated place, the next thing what we need to do is, see, this place usually I would suggest it could be close to a room, close to windows, where we could have a lot of natural light. Natural lights usually are the best source of motivation because it adds to your good health. So natural light is one thing. Second is, if it could be in some place where you could get some quietness, that is out of the noise. Now, to be out of the noise, it is always not possible for most of us, as we are staying in apartments, in houses which could be close to roads. There might be a lot of noise because of moving traffic. There might be noise because of people talking outside our window. There might be noise because of different reasons. So the other way to cut off noise could be using headphones that could negate or cut out the noise for us. So these are two things. The third important aspect which I feel is very important while setting up our space to work from home is the temperature. Now summers have started across most of the places in India, across the globe, and the temperatures have started going up. Cities are becoming warm day by day. So it's again up to us, where do we put up our special place to work from home. It could be upstairs, it could be on the ground floor, it might be in the basement. There is no fixed place with a fixed temperature that would suit everyone. It would again depend from one person to the next and how we set it up. So once you pick up your place with proper lighting, with I would say negating the noise factor, and with good temperature that would help your body to adjust to your work environment, then you can start working. So the next thing, once you set up your place, is structuring your day. So how do you structure your day? How do you plan your day? That is another important element. Most of the time, when we start working from home, we go to our corner, we switch on our laptop or our computers, and we just sit idle and think for about 30 seconds in our brain, and we start working. We think that the most important task might come to us just like that, and it would help us to initiate our job. But actually that is not the correct way. The correct way in these trying times, as always during other times also, would be first to write down what are the tasks that are most important and what are the tasks which are most urgent in a diary, which would come up in the next couple of days, over the next couple of weeks. So you note it down. Once you noted it down, next thing is you have to work it backwards. So you have to break it down into tasks, into reports, what you need to do, and what are the various activities that you need to do this job in the time frame. So once you've done that, once you prepared that, right, after completion of that, this might take about 30 minutes time or hours time to plan everything properly. But once you've done it and once you've noted it down in a diary, you will find out there are a lot of tasks which you would be required to do it today to be able to deliver after a week, probably after 15 days, probably in next 3 days. Okay, so once you've done that, once you structured your work, once you noted it down, and once based on that you know what you need to do today itself, then you can start doing it. This would in a way also help you to set up routine. But one thing I would like to tell you, routines always don't work. What may happen is that out of 5 days, the routines may work on 4 days, but it may not work on the 5th day. So there might happen a lot of jobs that may come to you ad hoc. There might be a lot of jobs that may come to you based on some urgencies, which would help you out. So you have to work accordingly. You have to plan your schedule. You have to plan your day, and you have to plan your work so that you can work it accordingly. So we have been discussing while working from home, setting up our own specific work location from where we can work, we can be more productive. I spoke about structuring your day from where once you have your plan, once you set up your priorities of what has to be done, then you can start being more productive. The third important aspect that I want to focus on, which is very important, very crucial, and which might even touch a nerve with all of you, is respecting work time. So what happens for me, what I feel is being productive means there are two things. First, You have to respect work time. Second, you have to avoid distractions. So you got a place. Once you got a place, you got a cool spot, a nice spot, place where you feel comfortable to work from. The temperature of that place is maintained. The noise level has been negated out, right? So these are certain things that would help you to lower your distractions. Respecting work, what would happen is every time you start working, you got a choice. And this choice is a conscious choice. This choice could be that once you start working, what do you want to do? Do you want to let some non-work related activities get involved into your work time? Or you want to focus on your productive time and work? Most of the time, if we start letting the non-productive work elements enter into our work time, then it becomes a habit and gradually we lose focus and these things would keep on coming in. So these things could be, say, that beep on your phone, some message from WhatsApp, and you get distracted, you want to have a look, who sent what, and it could be important message, it may not be important at all. So what I would suggest is, first and foremost, try to refrain yourself as much as possible from getting involved in certain activities that would distract you from being productive. To do this, what you could do is, once you start your job, start working from your home, you should turn off the messages that would come in WhatsApp or through your other social media on Facebook or other way that might distract you. Another important aspect is you need to, if both of you are working, and now during these times of COVID-19 you have to take care of your kids at home too, because the nanny center is closed and you are responsible. So I would request you should divide up the time between both of you so that both can focus at the work, not together but at different times, while at the same time the other spouse could take care of the kids. So while doing it, make it certain that your spouse and your kids don't start interfering into your work time. Okay, so you have to learn and you have to tell them to respect your work time. So when you've done it, that is one part. You're switched off your WhatsApp. Yes, it might so happen you're getting some important messages. It might so happen nowadays, because of this scenario, there are a lot of official WhatsApp groups through which messages are passed on between colleagues to simplify the entire process and have a faster reach, right? So what I could suggest, you could switch off your WhatsApp for about 2 hours. After that, you could switch it on for half an hour, have a look at all the important messages that you have, go through it, respond to it, again switch it off. Whatever other non-important messages that you might get during this time frame from your friends, from your other groups, from your relatives, you might always look it in your other non-productive hours or at the time when you're not actually working. So there are two more major distractions that usually occur while working from home. The first one, most important distraction that usually happens is if you got our TV set in our line of view, or if you got our the important book or the book the author we love to read, that book is lying somewhere close to us, it's in our line of view. We got our something that catches our attention, something that makes us crave for it, and what we do is we get distracted, we switch over the TV, we pick up the book, we start reading it, and we become non-productive. The other more important type of distraction that happens is that of hunger. So there are hunger pangs. Now these would happen usually if we have forgotten to take our breakfast, or if we are set to work from home with a packet of chips and Coke. So what would happen is that won't give you high energy, that would rather lower your energy, that would have a different impact on your health. And I would always suggest, when you're going to work, go to work with food in your stomach. I don't mean to say overeat, because if you overeat you might start feeling sleepy, but do eat healthy food and then start working, then start being productive. Okay, a very different kind of distraction that I'm going to tell you next, and that might even surprise you, is that you decided to sit in that desk close to your window, and you want to look and work, and you're getting a lot of natural light. But what would happen is there are people who are walking on the street and they distracted you. There's some activity which is going on the other side of the road and that's distracted you. And this way also you may get distracted. So there might be a nice view and you get distracted. There might be a lot of things. So there would at times be a lot of stuff that would compete for your attention other than being productive. My suggestions are, try to be as much as focused and try to keep it in mind while setting yourself up so that you don't end up being distracted from your work and you end up rather being, putting in these productive hours in giving good output. So the next important point that I noted it down, which I wanted to share with all of you, is working remotely with our colleagues who are also on a work from home mode under quarantine, and how easily we could be able to collect with them and work with them so that the productivity actually occurs, right? So what happens usually is when we are in an office environment, we need something, we want to know something, we simply walk down to our colleague or give a quick call or meet up during lunch hours over coffee breaks, discuss it out and get our information that we require, right? Now what is happening currently under the work from home environment is, yes, this kind of interruptions are not there, and at the same time there is no direct person to person contact with anyone, which is also helping us to be more productive. At the same time, it might also help us, it may work against us if we need something from them. So how do we work with them, how do we collaborate with them to be more productive? What I would say first and foremost is, what you should do is that you should develop a habit of proactive messaging. So there might be certain information that you want to share, and you should always put it across as FYI, for your information please, at least once or twice a week to your bosses, so that you don't get interrupted when you are doing some productive work from their end. At the same time, they also get that information from you in timely manner that they require. So that is one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is also sharing this information, at the same time having, I would say, your daily cadence call with your team members, with your colleagues. During these cadence calls you can discuss it out, what are the things that you need to work up. Okay, so that would also help you up to do it. I also suggest you could do video calls with your colleagues. That would help you out to have a face-to-face interaction with them. That would also help you out, to thaw out any differences that might occur, besides other email communications which are more of older kind of communications. So this way it would be quite helpful to be in touch with each other through video calls, through messages, at the same time be productive. So we have spent a productive day, we have worked to our heart's content, and finally that important time has come that whatever we have worked productively, how much has it been useful to the company? So currently, as we all are going through trying times, and there is a lot of fear and anxiety and anger going on around, it becomes very, very difficult when someone gives or tries to give us some kind of feedback. We say, heck, what's going on? I'm on work from home environment, I'm working in tough times and you're trying to give me a feedback? But then especially it's very much important for us to get the feedback, because it's related to the output, to the work that we are generating and that we are giving back. What I would say is, when someone gives you feedback or when you are giving feedback to someone, try to be as much positive and to the point as much possible. Okay, don't bring any negativity in your feedback. Try to be on the point, try to say how it can be improved. When someone is giving you the feedback, try to take it in the right context. Try to inform the person back that you understand that feedback that you received and how you're going to implement that feedback into your work so that your work actually improves. Same way, from your end also, you should give feedback in a similar manner to your teammates, to your colleagues, and occasionally if required to also your boss. So now what I feel I'm going to focus on is the most common challenge that we are facing these days while working from home. And the first and foremost challenge that I feel most of us are facing is a feeling of isolation that's coming into us, because as human beings, we are very much social. We meet with colleagues most of the time, and we discuss out. We have group meetings, and we have group coffee breaks together, and we do a lot of activities together. Now suddenly we are put up in this scenario of working from home under quarantine in a fixed place in a corner. Yeah, of course, a chosen corner, but still, this would usually give us a feeling of isolation. And the important aspect that comes to my mind is, how do we prevent ourselves from getting this feeling of isolated? See, for most people, when we are working in office environment, most of the time we feel that we would be very lucky, very fortunate if we could get that work from home, like a lot of people in ITES get. And now you got it. And now what is happening is, a lot of people, they feel liberated, but when you have to do it for a long period of time, for a lot of days, day 4, day 5, day 6, and you start feeling bored, you start feeling isolated. Your normal amounts of interactions with your other colleagues are decreased considerably. You're not talking with people, you're not receiving calls, you're being productive, you're on the work. At the same time, yes, isolation is coming in. This may also impact your daily decision-taking powers. This may make you struggle with your work. This can happen to anyone. And how can we overcome this thing? So the most important aspect of overcoming this thing is if we take breaks. In normal course of work in an office also, usually we do take breaks. The same thing, same scenario I'm suggesting over here, we should take breaks. So maybe 10% of our time in the working hour, if we put it in breaks, it could be very much productive to us. In other way, our cognitive mindset would shut off and switch on. We again start the work, we may become more productive. What we could do? First thing we could do is try out some group activities with our other colleagues, with our teammates. Maybe play online Ludo, play online chess. Maybe share some small videos with each other. Maybe you walking your dog outside, you shoot a video, you send it across to your colleagues. Something bonding will take place between you and your colleagues. At the same time, it would make you not feel isolated. The other thing that we could do in this scenario is, when we are taking breaks, maybe go out in the yard, talk to our neighbors, maybe make a quick phone call to our friends elsewhere, maybe make a quick phone call to our long lost relatives whom we have not been speaking to or avoiding speaking to since long. And this could also help us in overcoming this feeling of isolation. So this is an important challenge that majority of us are facing, and this is how I feel in current scenario. While maintaining social distancing from people, at the same time we could be socially associated with them through video calls, through video chats, through speaking to them over the phones, and prevent ourselves from this feeling of being isolated while doing our work. So the second most important challenge that most of us are facing, and not only us, our families facing it, our parents are facing it, even our kids are facing it, is the stress and anxiety that is occurring because of COVID-19. Now, see, the fear and anxiety about an unknown disease can be overwhelming and can cause strong emotions in adults as well as children. Coping with this anxiety and stress will make you, the people you care about and your community, always stronger. Stress during an infectious disease outbreak can always include fear and worry about your own health and the health of your loved ones, changes in sleep or eating patterns, difficulty sleeping or concentrating, worsening of chronic health problems, or increased use of alcohol, tobacco, or other drugs. Similarly, if someone of you who's been recently released from forced quarantine due to either travel abroad or some other reason, another set of challenges that may come up is, being separated from others. you may get a mixed set of emotions that could include relief after quarantine. It might also happen that you may have fear and worry about your own health and the health of your loved ones. It might so happen you might have stress from experiencing of monitoring yourself or being monitored by others for signs and symptoms of COVID-19. This could lead to sadness, anger, or frustration because friends, your loved ones, have suddenly got fear of maybe these fears could be unfounded altogether, that they might contract the disease from you. And even though you might have been determined as non-contagious, it might be guilt about not being able to perform your normal work or parenting duties during quarantine. These will lead to other emotional or mental health challenges, and children at times may feel quite upset if someone they know has been recently released from quarantine. What can we do? Is we could focus on the things that are within our control. See, these are times of massive upheaval. There might be so many things which are not within our control, which are outside our control. There might be people who are coming into our communities, into our societies from elsewhere, who might be carriers, and this may not be in our control. What we can do at the most is we can do only those things which are within our control. What the government has been saying, what WHO has been prescribing, what I would like to suggest over here, the important things that are in our control that we should do from time to time is washing our hands frequently, at least for 20 seconds with soap and water. If we are going out at all to buy our groceries, vegetables and all, we should wash our hands using sanitizer which at least have 60% alcohol contained. We should avoid touching our face and nose, particularly our eyes, nose, mouth area. We should avoid crowds altogether, gatherings of 10 or more people. We should totally avoid all kinds of shoppings and traveling for non-essential items. When we are outside due to any reason, we should try to maintain a distance of at least a meter, meter and a half from the other people. We should take good sleep that would help us support our immune system. We should follow all the recommendations that the health authorities are telling us. We should take care of our body well, take deep breaths, do Anulam Vinlam, stretch, do yoga, meditate. Try to eat healthy food, well-balanced meals, exercise regularly, and please, 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 it is my humble request, try to avoid alcohol and drugs as much as possible. Take time to unwind, do certain activities that you enjoy to do. Make it a priority to stay in touch with friends, relatives, family over the phone. You could do it using regular phone chats, Skypes, such things. If you're feeling lonely away from your girlfriend, probably you could do a Skype date. In-person visits are very much limited, but you can always substitute these by video chats. Social media is a powerful tool. Be in touch with your friends using Facebooks, WhatsApps and other social medias, but at the same time, it could also lead you to depression and increase your stress and anxiety level if you keep on reading and watching too much about COVID-19. So take breaks, avoid watching news most of the time. If you really are interested to watch news, watch it once a day, not more than that. Avoid reading more about COVID-19. Don't talk about it. Don't always pull it up in conversations that you have with people. Rather, share stories, laugh, be happy. And the most important thing that I would like to stress over here is you could use this time also to upgrade your skills. There are a lot of online programs that are being offered. LinkedIn Learning, Coursera, edX, Udemy, Swayam Online. There are a lot of other sites, and most of these programs, many of these programs are also being offered free of cost for your learning. So upgrade your skill sets so that once the work starts, you can use it productively for your benefit. So I think I've been able to touch on certain important aspects today while having this small TTT talk on work from home in tough times of COVID-19, and what we have been talking about, again very briefly, I would like to point it out, is number one, setting up your own workspace, your planning your entire day activities, noting it down, doing teamworks with your groups, with your colleagues, mixing your work, and giving feedback. If you're able to follow this properly, I think we would gain that focus back into our work that we have been losing due to the anxiety and the stress that has come up because of this unknown disease called COVID-19. Best of luck to all of you. Once more, I would say stay safe, stay away from crowded areas, have a good mental health, and be as much productive as you can while being work from home. Thanks to all of you for watching me. Thank you once more. Namaste.